Hey guys, welcome to this episode. It's a somber episode, kind of. It's going to be on the rather short side. We're just going to really talk about the tragedy that happened this morning, and the world lost a legend in Tim Montressor. Um, it's still not out yet about what we don't know what actually happened. Everything is just rumors right now, so unfortunately, we can't give you any news or updates. If you were looking to hear that, like I just don't think people do know. And from what I've heard, the people that do know aren't ready to tell people yet. But the world just lost a legend in this sport, and we wanted to definitely give him justice. This is not going to be a long episode. We're really just going to talk about what we know and from the few times that we've met him, and and really that's it. So I'm going to start this off just by saying that I appreciate everything as Tim's done. I don't know him closely like that at all. I've probably only met him maybe 5 times, but I've been lucky enough to know Will Arroyo, and every time he's around, Tim comes up and says something. So I've gotten to have a couple conversations with him, and it's just so crazy how soon and people like come and go. And I hear a bunch of people saying that they just spoke to him the other day, and they were just talking to him, teammates and everything, and it's just a really somber time. I mean, you could see if you've been on the Facebook or the internet at all in the last 2 days, you've seen huge outcry. Like my feed is blown up. Like I can't go 2 posts without seeing a thank you to Tim and a picture of him. And I just really want to thank him for everything he's done for the sport. Uh, he, I mean, let's start off with the ICC. He brought mechanical paintball back. He really, from what I hear the older guys say, he brought paintball back to those NPPL days, and that seems to be doing awesome. And I really wanted to give, because without him, he gave me the opportunity to play Dynasty. He gave me the platform to play some of the best teams in the world, and I will never forget that. Never forget that. Um, I just couldn't throw more appreciation, really. And yeah, the world lost a good one, man. I mean, Frank Connell, so many guys on my timeline have been posting things, and Russell from Smart Parts, and Tim has a really long story in the game. I mean, it's unfortunate that we're never going to be able to let him share them on this podcast, but it's really something we had to address. How could you not address it? And we really wanted to get what we feel out, so it's not taken away from further guests we have on the show, because this is something that's obviously going to be brought up for months on end, months and end. Like it's just something you're not going to be able to avoid. It's like talking about Corona when it was happening. You're going to have to bring it up. Like, where were you when you found out, and how it made you feel? And on that note, before I ramble on too long, maybe Waldo, why don't you say a little something to something?
So, I've been following Tim, for a long time. I was originally a big fan of the Philly All Americans until I ended up playing on the Master Blasters, and there's kind of a rivalry there. But Tim, shout out, probably to the greatest paintball event, Iron City
Oh,
Classic.
sorry, undershirt. My undershirt's ICC.
So, he ran a great event, and, something that I was trying, and there was other people before, Jerry Braun, Woods Bowl World Cup, the Fight Club event. I was doing some 5 mans, but he kind of repackaged it, and he kind of made it cool again. You know what I mean? And big hats off. I know it was his like brainchild. ICC's coming up in a couple of weeks, man, and I hope I pray to God, man, that
Right.
the event happens for everybody's sake, man, because one, it was what we needed for Corona, and we needed for Tim, and we need it for everybody, man. And the guy's done. He's world champion with the All Americans multiple times. He helped out Aftershock. I mean, there's plenty of stuff that you can go on, and like you said, Frank Connell, special, everybody, and anybody that's ever met him, and I'll even say this, dude, the guy's always been positive. It's never been a bad
Always.
always been never been a bad thing, man. And he'll talk to the little 5-year-old, he'll talk to a pro, he'll talk to anybody, man. He just one of those guys that generally loves the game. Loves the
Yeah, I was
game.
a D5 scrub, and he came and talked to me for a little bit.
Dude, that's what I'm saying, man. He just loved the game. He just loved life. He was a traveler. He just traveled everywhere. This quarantine probably, like, I think it was the longest he's ever been home, because the guy literally just loved paintball and hit it, full force, full speed, you know, flights every single weekend, multiple countries, and he wasn't just playing
Everywhere.
in America. He was playing in Japan and China and Malaysia and Australia and all these places, man, because he was an ambassador to the game. You know, he was one of the guys that like I said, an ambassador, like a Greenspan or a Dizon or something like, like truly ambassadors to the game. Like there's pros, and they're all great guys. They're all good guys from everybody that I've met. But again, ambassadors above and beyond. And just a role model that anybody can look up to. So and even though I didn't work with him, I was sponsored by Smart Parts back in the day. So he's been part of Smart Parts and that God DLX. He's been a part of all that. And I didn't directly work with him, but he's always been a big part of helping anybody that I've ever seen. So this stuff usually doesn't hit me hard, dude, and this was one that I was shocked. I was shook to the core a little bit, and I just hope everybody.
I had to message like 6 people just to make sure it was real, because I didn't believe it at first. I was like, "Yo, is this for real? Does this really happen right now?"
I was on the phone with someone when I heard it, and I was also getting a call at work at the same, I was on and a lot of things were happening. So it's like you said, like one of those things, like you'll probably remember if you're a paintball person, and I'm not trying to put this up against any other incident in the world or anything like that. It's always hard losing a loved one, but if you're a paintball person, this one's going to stick with you for a while. And I just think, kind of echoing off, Tim's essence and Tim's being is that all of us, people just need to go out there and just travel and love the game and listen, if you got the money and you can play paintball, spend the money and play paintball. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm not looking for anything else in this episode. I just want to say my respects to Tim, my respects to his family, my respects to GOG, DLX, and everybody like that. It don't matter who your sponsors are, anybody is, anybody that knows Tim's the man, and that's all I gotta say, man. Everybody, peace and love, stay safe, and let's all just remember Tim and ball out, whether it be at ICC or at any events this season, because Tim would be there balling out.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. It's always tough when, like you see, we lose someone who's like on the Mount Rushmore of paintball. Like you said, there's pros, and then there's those couple names that where, like an Ollie Lang, a Tim Montressor, or a Ryan Greenspan. There's only a couple of those. They're not everywhere. They don't just pop up. And I really don't want to go on too much longer, because it's just a really sad thing. We're sorry we couldn't bring you guys a guest, but we just felt like between me and Waldo, we talked about it. This would be the best, and we just wanted to make sure we honored him in maybe the best way possible. And do you have any closing remarks? Because if not, I'm just going to wrap it up, Waldo, and we'll see you guys on Thursday.
Everybody stay safe, play paintball, and
get out on ball this weekend, man, because that's what that ball out for Tim this weekend, man. If you're going to do anything this weekend, go out and play some ball.
Ball out for Tim.
Yeah, take it easy,
love everybody.
Guys.